This is Jeb Blount, and it's Money Monday on the Sales Gravy Podcast.
Say make money, money, make money, money, money. Make money, money, make money, money, money. Money makes the world go round. I'm the talk around town. Remy gave me the sound.
All right, it's Monday, and this week, like every week, there are only three things you can control. You can control your actions, what you choose to do every moment of every day. You can control your reactions, how you respond to the challenges, roadblocks, and conflict that come at you. And you can choose your mindset, what you choose to believe. Now, I choose to believe that success in sales is paid for in advance with prospecting, with hard work, with effort, with grind. A few weeks back, I was delivering a Fanatical Prospecting bootcamp to a group of sales reps who were all in their 20s. They had been assigned to me because their boss was tired of listening to their excuses about why they weren't consistently picking up the phone and prospecting. And when he brought me in, he said matter-of-factly that they won't pay attention to me, but before I start firing people, I'm hoping that you can get through to them. Now, the reps didn't want to be there. It was a hostile audience from the very start. And just as I kicked off the training, one of the reps challenged me with, "Your book, Fanatical Prospecting, was written a long time ago. Is it even relevant anymore?" Now, his sneering words were much more of a statement than they were a question. You see, like many reluctant prospectors, he wanted to engage in a distracting argument over whether or not outbound prospecting and cold calling was old school. He wanted validation that his avoidance of prospecting was okay, and to make the point that marketing should be responsible for delivering hot, ready-to-buy leads to him on a silver platter. Now, sales reps of all generations for at least the last 125 years have been eager to make any excuse, and I mean any excuse to avoid picking up a phone or knocking on a door. And the most common excuse has always been that synchronous prospecting, that means talking with people, is old school. There were a couple of snickers in the back of the room in anticipation for what I would do next. But look, I've been there, I've done this, I've heard it, and I've got the t-shirt to prove it. So I just said, "What do you think has changed since I wrote the book?" The young reps shot back in the most condescending tone. "Well, for one thing, nobody answers the phone anymore." So I challenged him right back. I said, "Okay, let's test your hypothesis. Let me see the prospecting list that you brought with you." Now, we always run live call blocks in our Fanatical Prospecting boot camps, and we require participants to bring a list with them. He pulled the list up on his laptop, and I started dialing it right in front of the class. Instantly, I had their attention. They all leaned in to watch because reality TV is a hell of a magnet. I made 11 dials to his list, spoke to 2 decision makers, and I set 1 appointment, all within the span of about 15 minutes. As I handed the laptop back to him, I turned to the group and said, "Any more questions?" Elvis Presley once said that the truth is like the sun. You can shut it out for a time, but it ain't going away. You see, the cold truth about cold calling is that nobody answers a phone that doesn't ring. What was true when I wrote Fanatical Prospecting is still true today. If you wait for people to interrupt you, you'll starve to death. If you think your marketing team is going to supply you with an endless stream of qualified, ready-to-buy prospects, you are delusional. And here's another truth for you. When it comes to prospecting, you cannot be delusional and have a full pipeline at the same time. There are certainly sales jobs where your phone rings and inbound chat dings with people who are ready to buy. And if you absolutely cannot stand interrupting people through outbound prospecting, but you like selling, perhaps these roles are for you. However, if you take a sales job where you never have to make a cold call, be prepared for a pay cut. Sales reps in these types of roles typically get paid by the hour with minimum commission upside. The most coveted, highest earning sales jobs are reserved for rainmakers who have the ability to fill their pipeline through outbound prospecting activity. This is a prized and highly rewarded meta skill. The top running sales professionals in every industry everywhere understand this at a visceral level. This is why they are absolutely fanatical about prospecting. If you want to make more money, if you want to sell more, if you want to be successful and get the awards and accolades that you feel that you deserve, then you need to get right with this truth right now. This is a binary choice. Do you want to be successful in sales or linger in mediocrity and failure and eventually be replaced by a robot? Go look at yourself in the mirror right now and just answer that question. because success in sales is paid for in advance with prospecting. And if you're not willing to pay this price, get out now. Go do something else, because life is far too short to spend it doing something that you hate. On the other hand, if the answer is yes and you choose to embrace success, then make the commitment to be a relentless, unstoppable, fanatical prospector. Ditch your wishbone and grow a prospecting backbone. Fanatical prospecting is the path to freedom. Embracing it gives you wings. It's the difference between earning enough income to create generational wealth or living paycheck to paycheck for the rest of your life, living in your dream home or paying rent for some flea-bitten place someone else owns, settling for a low-budget staycation or taking your family on an epic dream vacation. It will change your life. Fanatical prospectors are always on all the time, everywhere. They fill every available moment in their sales day with prospecting activity. They prospect day and night, anywhere, anytime, always on the hunt for the next opportunity. Fanatical prospectors are fearless. They strike up conversations with strangers in line to get coffee, in elevators, on planes, trains, and anywhere else they can talk with people and potentially qualify prospects. They ask people where they work, what they do, and who makes decisions at their company. Fanatical prospectors get up early in the morning and bang the phone, and during the day, they knock on doors. They go to networking events, conferences, and trade shows. They invest in their professional network, and they ask for referrals. At night, they engage prospects on social media, and when it's time to go home, they always make one more call. You see, the pipe is life, and this is why fanatical prospecting is as relevant today as it was the day I wrote it, and that is the cold, hard truth. Before I wrap up, I want to say thank you to Peter Sarowski, who wrote this awesome 5-star review on Apple Podcast. He says, it's the most applicable advice you'll ever hear. Jeb keeps it real. He's not glamorizing sales or chest beating about all the money he makes like so many other annoying motivational speakers. It's just straight talking advice, warts and all. And I really appreciate that. Thanks, Peter. Truly appreciate you for writing that review. And look, if you love this podcast, if it's giving you value, do me a solid. Take the 3 seconds, literally 3 seconds to click 5 stars. Those 5-star ratings move us up in the algorithm and they help other people find us. And if this podcast is connecting with you viscerally, do your friends and your peers a favor, click the share button and send it to them. Because how you start your Monday is how you end your Monday, and you want to start your Monday strong. I'll see you next time on the Sales Gravy Podcast. And remember, when you're tired, when you're worn out, when you can't take any more rejection, when you just want to give up and go home, always make one more call.
Survival of the fittest, you can sink or swim. I've been broke, I ain't never going back again. I need some C-notes, some cheddar, and a stack of ends. I need a bowl of dough, I don't need no Facebook friends. I need a pack of them snaps, a handful of Fetty Wops, and rubber band on my greenbacks. Look, dawg, don't be playing with my paper. I need every red cent, that's why I brought my little scraper. Money, 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 money.